The number 3 team in the country is in Richmond, Kentucky today, looking to stay undefeated as 8-0 Tarleton State tangles with 3-4 Eastern Kentucky. While the Texans have been untouchable this season, the Colonels have won 10 in a row here at Roy Kidd Stadium. That's a streak dating back to early November 2023. We welcome you to United Athletic Conference play, rapidly becoming one of the best conferences in the FCS. That's Wes Chandler. I'm Greg Stottlemyre. And for Eastern Kentucky, it's their homecoming, but it's a big, tall, high hurdle to clear today against the Texans.
Challenge indeed, Greg. This Tarleton State team has so much firepower on offense. It starts with an experienced quarterback in Victor Gabalis. They have a bevy of running backs that they will use out here today, a seasoned offensive line. They have Power 4 transfers in at wide receiver. It's a total mix for the Texans. They are playing a video game on beginner mode, the way that they've been able to carve up opponents here in 2025. Second in the country in points per game, 7th in rushing yards per game, 10th in total yards per game. But today, they face an EKU defense that's been really strong, allowing FCS opponents just 21 points per game. So it is strength on strength here today.
And speaking of low scoring, what the Colonels did down in Texas last year is they upset then 7th-ranked Tarleton by a score of 17-13 with this go-ahead touchdown late in the fourth quarter. Both teams made the FCS playoffs. Let's go back 2 seasons ago here in Richmond. The Colonels used this interception in the second overtime to outlast Tarleton State 41-35 after the Texans missed a chip shot field goal to win in regulation. Revenge may be an overhyped part of the game, but you have to believe, Wes, the Texans have just that on their minds as they come 996 miles northeast to the Bluegrass State.
There's no doubt about that. Tarleton State is all alone at the top of the United Athletic Conference. After Abilene Christian was beat by Southern Utah last Saturday, EKU's loss at North Alabama dropped it to a 3-way tie for 6th.
It will be Tarleton State in the white uniforms with the purple helmets kicking left to right. Slight breeze, 55 degrees, cloudy skies in the Bluegrass State, as Eastern Kentucky will drop the dangerous DJ Mitchell back to the goal line. One of 5 100-yard kickoff returns at FCS, and they will go fair catch instead by Stanley, the other back, and it's obvious that they are not going to kick it to Mitchell today at Eastern Kentucky. And an offense that has struggled, led by Miles Burkett, to transfer from Albany, heading out to go right to left as you look at it. We're glad you're on with us here for the 4th ever meeting between these 2 teams. There are the numbers for Miles Burkett.
Yeah, a little over 100 yards passing per game here for the U-Albany transfer. He began his career at the University of Wisconsin, so he played with a lot of experienced quarterbacks, learned a lot from some of those guys, and he's trying to use that here as a Colonel now.
Burkett with Latham, the starting running back, trips to the right. Latham, the tote, stop and go, and that solid defense says no go for Latham. He got a yard before they pushed him back. And the first hit came by one of those great defensive players. They got a ton of good linebackers, and that time Devin Sterling, the 6'2 senior from Sunnyvale, Texas, made the initial hit, 2nd and 9.
You'll hear this a lot. A senior, 6th year in college. This team on Tarleton State has almost 50 seniors on this football team.
2nd down and 9 for EKU between the hashes for Burkett. Ground again, and broken tackle and just a yard short of what is needed to move the chains on a pickup of 8 for Latham.
Yeah, Braden Latham, a junior from Knoxville, coming into more of the number 1 role here. You see the run there by Latham. Just a nice job to initially break a couple of tackles there. Latham trying to get going. The last couple of games have been a lot better for him.
Tolbert made the tackle, defensive end. Leads the team in quarterback hurries. 3rd down and short. And it all depends on the spot. Don't think they got there. Eastern Kentucky has been a 3-and-out team this year, a lot of 3-and-outs, and they were on the doorstep of moving the chains and failed to do it, and they'll have to bring their punter out. It's been a busy punter this year. Here comes Jacob Baker for the 44th time this year.
Well, this Tarleton State defense, 11th in the country in scoring offense or scoring defense. So they are really strong as well. This EKU offense has their work cut out for them against a very strong unit in Tarleton State.
Tarleton State defensive third down conversions very good. And we saw it again there, 31%. Here's the Baker punt. They'll back away from it. It'll take a wagon train roll all the way down to the, they're almost fanning it down to about the 9.5-yard line. That's a punt of 52 by Baker, who comes in averaging 44.8 in 4 punts last year against Tarleton. On the year this year, a 42.1 average.
There you see the first look at Victor Gabalis, missing a couple of games with an ankle injury. He also had a little bit of a thumb issue early on in the season. He's the veteran. He's the experienced preseason UAC Offensive Player of the Year, one of the best quarterbacks in this conference.
1st and 10 from their own 10. Running back through holes and a first down. He is so good, is Trey Page the third, and we saw it on the first carry for 15. Instead, they moved another running back in. It's another Page, spell it different, James Page, staying on the page, making big plays, and they go for a total of 15 on first down.
He just jetted through that hole right there. He's a converted quarterback.
Here's Gabalis to pass on 1st and 10, hit by Bailey on the arm and knocked the pass down. So the quarterback pressure, the 6th hurry of the year by Bailey to lead the team. Back to the stop on 3rd and less than a yard where Latham was stopped. They're going to give that stop, and there were a bunch of Texans in there, but it's going to go to Josh Griffiths, who was a guy that was in the portal and then came back to Tarleton State after going and not playing at Oregon State. 2nd and 10. After a 15-yard pickup, then the incomplete pass, Gabalis. Play action, holds, throws, open receiver looking to cut back to get it, and it is their second leading receiver in Cody Jackson. You see him stop on a dime and then get relief away from Tisdale.
Well, when you have an experienced quarterback and you have great route runners at receiver, Cody Jackson is one of those, a transfer from Oklahoma. Their timing is impeccable.
They have 3 players that have as many touchdowns, if not more, than the entire EKU team through the air. Another first down. Gabalis has got him moving. Keeper may have gone Wildcat here, and they did. And he'll come to the right side. It's Page, and that's not surprising because James Page, first 2 years at quarterback, and he's played a little bit of both this year. So Page out of the Wildcat on the direct snap.
Had a huge game last week against West Georgia, going for over 100 yards, 21 carries. First time he's gotten a lot of reps under his belt. He's having to take on a new role.
1st and 10 on the plus side at the 47. In motion comes Jackson. And that time, Eastern Kentucky sits on the handoff to Page. And Page will go for 3 down to the EKU 44-yard line. Bailey made the tackle.
Page, a very patient runner. That time he was waiting for his blocks out on the offensive line to go out to the edge, able to get a couple there, and now they bring on Trey Page the third.
So Trey Page the third, a 5'9" redshirt freshman out of Atlanta, played at Langston Hughes High School. Number 6th in the country, 109.5 yards a game. You see the rushing total, it's 109 a game, not 209. And the ball deflected away. The deflection by Eastern Kentucky there, and it was Caden Smith, the inside linebacker.
They were trying to go to their big tight end, Dawson Hearn, 6'4", 240. This is a Tarleton State team that has thrown more to their tight ends so far here this year than they have in the past. Hearn, a big-time red zone threat. They were trying to get him out in open space there.
3rd down and 7. They're 16th best in the country at 47% conversion rate. EKU's defense on 3rd down conversions, not bad, 41%, about average. 3rd and 7 here. Gabalis to throw. Protection is good. Receiver slips, and just in time, deflecting it away, was Jaheim Ward. Well, wait, double check that. No, I think instead it was DJ Galva. And Galva had a huge play last year, as you watch it here.
Yeah, that slip for Tarleton just allowed them to not get the catch and allow Galva an extra second to get that pass breakup.
So both teams will open with a punt. They were on the plus side at the 44. Galva had a big interception late in the ball game down in Stephenville last year. And here's the punt by a guy that had his birthday back on Wednesday, and Charlie Mullen. And that will retreat back to the 9 and poor field position for Eastern Kentucky when we return. Scoreless between Eastern Kentucky and Tarleton State.
Eastern Kentucky now on offense, and you look at these both offensive units, they're both on different ends of the spectrum. Tarleton right there in top 10 in the FCS in so many offensive categories. EKU on the other end, looking to get things going here, though, with Miles Burkett in at quarterback.
Take it over at their own 9-yard line, coming around the left to the new running back, Hensley, and he'll get a yard. Hensley's had a couple of good games on long runs, but that time they bottled him up. And the tackle was made by H.A. Owens, the Jack linebacker, who played at Lamar for a year and a year as well at Hutchinson Community College.
Talk about a guy that's really come along here. Brady Hensley, a local product here from Richmond, Kentucky. Played his high school ball about 20 miles here away from this EKU campus. He has really elevated his game here in his sophomore season.
Second down and 8, got it to the 11, man in motion Cowwise. Play action, handoff running back, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage at best. And the first hit of many was from Omar Emmons, the 5'9", 170-pound senior out of Greenwood, Mississippi.
Going off the field now, as you see, he was able to just penetrate through that offensive line of EKU. He was able to bulldoze in from his Sam linebacker position.
26 tackle of the year. He's had a pair of interceptions, 6 pass deflections, 2 caused fumbles, a fumble recovered. He's done a little bit of everything. Third at a bunch, third at 8 for Burkett. Scrambling, tripped, in trouble, and he'll be sacked. And there were a lot of quarterback sacks last week as well, as EKU gave up 5, and that is quarterback sack number 21 of the year for this mean purple machine known as Tarleton State.
Watch James Turrentine right there, middle of your screen, 97 in white. 2 Colonels were blocking him, and he just plowed through. Strength by Turrentine to be able to get that sack.
First quarterback sack full. He had a half sack earlier this year, and punting from halfway into his end zone is Baker. EKU had poor field position in their 21-point loss against North Alabama last week. Room to run here from the 46-yard line. Back across midfield on the punt return from Blake Smith, the senior from Pearland, Texas. And positive field position as it tilts Tarleton State's way. They've got it at the 48-yard line of Eastern Kentucky, scoreless early.
Well, one thing Eastern Kentucky needed to be able to do offensively, and there's still plenty of time, obviously, but was put together sustained drives. Going 3 and out is not an option here today, as we have a timeout on the field. No score between the Colonels and the Texans.
Just like your fingerprint, your heartbeat is unique to you. And that's how your heart care should be too. So at Baptist Health, we focus on your specific cardiac needs, from preventive care to some of the most advanced procedures. For your one-of-a-kind heart, choose the one hospital system more people trust for their heart care. Baptist Health. It's heart care centered on you.
Buckle up, phone down. Buckle up, put your phone down, yeah, yeah. Buckle up, phone down. Buckle up, put your phone down, yeah, yeah. Buckle up, phone down. Buckle up, put your phone down, yeah, yeah. Buckle up, phone down. Buckle up, put your phone down. Ooh. Put your phone
Be safe, Kentucky. Buckle up and put the phone down.
At Eastern Kentucky University, we're changing the game with affordable tuition and programs that fit your goals. Pioneering the way in manufacturing engineering, reaching new heights in aviation, preparing next-generation healthcare leaders. Find your purpose. Become a game changer at Eastern Kentucky University.
Tarleton State, the number 3 team in FCS, 8-0. Victor Caballas, their quarterback. He is a 6th-year guy, been at 3 different schools. Last played for Utah Tech before transferring into Tarleton State. Those are some very impressive numbers in his career. 75 career passing touchdowns, over 8,700 yards. Just brings loads of experience to this Tarleton State team. He's a stay-in-the-pocket type guy, and the more game reps and comfortability he gets from returning back from that ankle injury, the more dangerous he is going to be.
Trey Page will be the running back this time. Spot him with those bright orange shoes on. He'll be to the right of Gabalis, who started his career at Washington State. Long pass, trying to strike long. Great turn back shoulder down around the 20-yard line as he was matched up with DJ Galva. And it is hauled in on a high-pointing catch by Trayvon West, the senior redshirt out of Fort Worth.
11th in the UAC in receptions per game. You talk about the timing between Gabalis and his receivers. Could not put that in a better place where only his guy, Trayvon West, could make that catch.
28 yards to West. And they'll run to the left to Page. He's bottled up, tries to backpedal, and may have lost a half yard in doing so. And the initial hit from the inside linebacker, second leading tackler in Caden Smith.
Great pursuit there by the Colonels. Soon as one guy got to him, there were 2 or 3 others trailing right behind him to wrap it up for a no gain.
And Gabalis leaves, and now they'll come back to their running back slash quarterback in James Page. And he will get the other Page, Trey Page, wearing the 0 uniform in those orange shoes next to him, and a motion man, and it'll be a keeper by Page. Finds a gap before it's pinched down. Tackle made by Tommy Ziesmer, the Kentucky transfer out of nearby Boyle County High School. That'll make it 3rd down, a medium range. They've got to get the 11. Football sets at the 17. Remember, they did not make it on a 3rd and 7 last time they had the football on the plus side.
Aiden Moe, the left tackle for Tarleton State, going over to the sideline now. He's nursing a little bit of a ankle injury. It looks like he's limping over to the sideline, so they'll make a change there in the offensive line on the left side. Xavier Parker will come in.
redshirt freshman from Oklahoma City. Here's third down, pressure on Gabalis. Retreats even more. He's in trouble. Now he'll take off, and there's empty room as EKU could not get to him, and Gabalis will be forced out shy of the first down at about the 13 or 12-yard line. So now decision time for the veteran coach in Todd Whitten.
Watch the ability for Gabalis here to break out of all these pursuits by Eastern Kentucky. Braden Sullivan was right there. That last block by Page was able enough to get Gabalis some room, and they make something out of nothing, and it looks like Tarleton State's going to go for it here. Big
tackle for Jaheim Ward, the oncoming safety. They need the 11. It'll be fourth down and 2. EKU had a goal line stand against UNA. This is Gabalis throwing to the tight end for the first down. Double fours hauls it in, and Danny Joyner, who played in the Ohio Valley Conference for 3 years at Southeast Missouri.
This is where they like to go to their tight ends, especially Joyner and Hearn here in the red zone. Take a look for a potential tight end target for Gabalis here coming up.
That was a 4th and 3 officially from the 14, and they make it, and now it's goal to go at the 7-yard line in a scoreless game. We've played almost 10 minutes. Number 3, Tarleton threatening. Handoff, Trey Page. Good cutback. He got to the 2. Second and goal coming. Tackle again, and he's been busy today. 3 tackles already for Caden Smith, the 2-star out of Taylor County High School in Kentucky.
Tarleton State has not missed a beat. Having to replace Kayvon Britton from a year ago, the way that they've been able to do that has been magnificent with all those 4 or 5 different backs that they use.
Sometimes they'll go power package here, and they'll bring in Charlie Robinson, who can run the H-back or the fullback position. He's lined up inside left of Gabalis behind the line. They'll follow, and it's a different runner. It was Daniel Greek, the other running back, and he got to the 1-yard line, or quarterback, I should say. So Gabalis out, Greek carries the ball. They have rotating guys all over the place early on here in the first quarter.
What a great problem to have, right?
Yeah, Greek is a Mississippi State transfer. He'll stay in.
He's the guy that got the 2 game starts when Gabalis had that ankle issue. He's back in, like you said, Greg.
Third and goal from the 1. Again, they keep Robinson in as an H-back, almost a fullback. He led the blocking last time. It'll be Greek, and Greek will find the end zone. Touchdown by Daniel Greek from 1 yard out. His second rushing touchdown. He had one against Utah Tech. And the Texans strike first here in the Bluegrass State.
When you change up your offense as far as personnel goes, you don't know where to key in on if you're a defense. So there's multiple different options that you can look at. And now you throw in another mix, and the backup quarterback coming in running the Wildcat. It's just an entirely different package. There's more weapons for Todd Whitten's team than he's ever had before.
It'll be Brad Larson for the PAT, and it is good. 7-0 Tarleton State, 3:43 to go in the first quarter. been the short yardage things that have led Tarleton State West to the lead here. They were able to get that fourth down and a close third down as they tee it up here. And EKU's been stopped a couple of times on third and short.
Started with good field position for the Texans. 8 plays, 48 yards, 4 minutes, 39 seconds on a 1-yard touchdown run by Daniel Greek.
And now the kickoff. Larson made the PAT. It'll be Corbin Poston, the hometown kid from Stephenville. And they'll go onside kick. EKU will rush up and take it and get good field position to the 41-yard line. That was heads-up play by the special teams. And you see the guy right there that came in and rushed up and was able to hold on to it, and that is Cam Jesse. He's been a freshman out of Louisville that's been a special team star this year, along with Jackson House for EKU.
He's a machine on special teams.
Eastern Kentucky, you see their win streaks over the years, 36 in a row, 24, 15, and currently sitting at 10 wins in a row, covering well over 700 days, but in peril today for the number 3 team in town. It's been 728 days since early November of 2023 since the Colonels lost a game. Here's Latham, and he'll roll around the right side for a 5-yard pickup to get EKU in medium range and second down as Latham. At first I thought he was coming up lame, but I think he's just pulling his bottoms up a little bit there, Wes.
It is a little bit of a cooler day, so you got to make sure everything's in order.
Second down and 5 EKU. Tarleton State leading by 5. Polling, looking, Burkett throwing. Vaca the catch. Vaca will move it forward about 10 after, and he'll go down to the 34-yard line where he is finally brought down. But the son of a college player himself in Kyle Vaca.
Big-time playmaker in high school, was injured last year. Kyle Vaca had a redshirt coming on, having a nice redshirt freshman season. He had a great job of running into the open space to get in between 2 Tarleton Texans.
Eastern Kentucky had only had 8 yards in their first 2 possessions, 8 yards of offense. They moved it after the onside kick from their own 41, and Burkett, there's a lot of holding down there. Let's see if any flag comes out. No. All clean for Melidor. Giovanni Melidor with the defense. They tried to go long to Vaca again.
Well, Vaca's been able to get out in space because of all the others receivers drawing a little bit more attention. Burkett, great job of going off that read. They were going for the home run ball, but just great defense by Giovanni Melidor.
I think that was just good, clean hand fighting both ways.
Both ways, yeah.
Well officiated. Second down and 10 as they try to go back-to-back to Vaca's. Good block by Latham to give the quarterback Burkett time. Man in motion, handoff fake, kept by Burkett. He'll lower the shoulder and go down to the 29-yard line, putting Eastern Kentucky in a third and short, trailing 7-0.
Here as this season has gone along, EKU in a couple of games has put Burkett more in a run up-tempo style. He's been a little bit more mobile in some of EKU's more successful games. See if that is a package for EKU today.
Center is Coppinger today. Liam Coppinger, he's played guard and center, as Isaiah Bunn with a head injury has missed the last 2 games now. Third down and 3. Burkett to pass in between the hashes. They'll move it for a first down as they sat the receiver Schlachter, the tight end, underneath. He is met by Devin Sterling and will move the chains.
That was a terrific route run by Caleb Schlachter along the edge. Watch him go, know where the sticks are, right in the middle of your screen. Getting the ball, knew he was going to take a hit, and tight ends doing what tight ends do.
Burkett now through the air is 2 for 3. And EKU driving on their third. Some green grass, and will go inside the 20 to the 18 for a first down pickup of 5. And that's something EKU has not done much this year, is get in medium range yardage on first down plays.
Makes your second and third down a whole lot more manageable and creates better just team morale all the way around.
EKU 119th, 11th lowest in first downs per game. and 6th lowest total offense among 129 teams at FCS football. 7-0 Tarleton. Last minute of the first quarter. Burkett all kinds of time open. Catch by the receiver in West, who missed last week, and it'll be goal to go. That may be the last play of the first quarter.
13-yard pickup there for Jaden West. Again, one nice job by the Colonels going over the middle of the field. They have shown a lot of strength with their tight ends and now receivers going into the middle of the field with a couple of slant patterns.
Burkett now 3 for 4 as he connected with West for 13, and we'll go to the second quarter. EKU threatening the number 3 team in the country, but down 7-0.
EKU putting together a sustained drive. There's they're inside the red zone here, inching closer, or they're at the 5-yard line right now with Burkett trying to even this game up.
Burkett 3 for 4 for 37 yards in this drive. They had 8 yards in their first 2 3-and-outs. Keeper by Burkett after the RPO, and he'll get down to maybe the 2, depending on where they spot it. Maybe a little bit farther than that. Maybe got 2 of the 5 he needs. It'll be second and goal. This is a really good Tarleton defense. They give up only 17.4 points a game, 11th best in the country.
And when you play the number 3 team in the country, these are the type of situations you get the ball at the 5-yard line. You need to punch in 6.
And they are 10th best in red zone defense, points allowed. EKU trying to get a touchdown to even it here as we open the second quarter. Lathan lowers the shoulder, but there's a brick wall of white jersey Texans there. May have gotten a foot, and it'll be third and goal.
right into the beef of the Texans. So much pound for pound power there across that front three. 295, 290, 282 along that defensive line. There's a lot of meat down there. Now EKU will bring on their jumbo package and bring on Zach Russell.
Russell, the tight end, never made a catch in his college career, mostly a blocker. And they've also got a wing on the other side, too, in motion Vaca. Latham, the running back. To throw. Burkett, pressure on him. Throws back of the end zone, high pointed off the hands of a Colonel, almost tipped away. Looked like Giovanni Melidor got a hand on it, and it was intended for Jaden West.
That was a good thrown ball. There is a flag down.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer.
Roughing
Defense,
the passer, and the Colonels get
Half
out
the
of jail.
to the goal
West could have
with
had
an automatic
that, but
first down.
the hands of Melidor knocked it away. But it'll be a no set of downs for Eastern Kentucky as we have our first penalty on either side of the ledger today, and it's a big one.
And that was still a well-thrown ball by Burkett. Despite the amount of pressure he was under, he was able to put that in a really good spot. You love to see that accuracy from Miles Burkett.
Good look at Jaden West back after missing a game. Now on the ground, and it's Latham, and they're within one on the touchdown by Latham. So Braden Latham, the junior out of Knoxville, scores on the ground for just the second time this year. That's only the 13th rushing touchdowns the Texans have allowed.
This time, great job by the offensive line. You see Brody Wright, the Pitt transfer, able to slide over, making that nice little swim across the offensive line right into the center of it to get a great job of a block that Latham was able to run through.
And then Coppinger with a seal block as well, and for the tie. And Buzz Flabiano, a Texan from Murphy, Texas, Plano East High School, ties it at 7 in United Athletic Conference football.
Mega Millions is now more mega than ever before, with larger prizes, a higher jackpot that grows faster, and a multiplier with every play. More mega, more millions from the Kentucky Lottery.
Fuel your game day with Raising Cane's. The Colonels and their fans are some of the most dedicated in football. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, every crispy crinkle-cut fry, every slice of buttery Texas toast. And you'll taste it with every dip into our legendary Cane's sauce. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
Go Big E.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Official partner of EKU Athletics.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Let it rain, Randy! Woo! Yes! By being prepared for anything! Woo! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
It's the Mini Monsters Cash Frenzy Scratch-Off game. Scan the QR code for another chance to win with the online game. Play today from the Kentucky Lottery.
Eastern Kentucky able to tie this ball game up on a 1-yard touchdown run by Braden Latham. It was a long drive for the Colonels, exactly what they needed to take up a little bit of time too on the clock. 5 minutes and 18 seconds, 10 plays, 59 yards, and Braden Latham able to rush it in for his second rushing touchdown here on the season.
And by the way, the roughing the passer was called on the weak side linebacker, top quarterback sacker on the team, and Angelo Anderson, the Tulane transfer. Football on that green tee. And we're getting ready for a 7-7 game and the Texans' chance to try to retake the lead. Get a good look at Devin Orr there to do the kickoff, and the man waiting for the return.
Something that Tarleton State has not had here in 2025 is close competitive games. So I'm interested to see if this game stays the way it is right now, how this Texans team will respond in a close game.
Going to bring it 2 yards deep out, and that was a ripping tackle there from Cam Jesse. And then a teammate came in and sealed it off. So we are tied at 7. Last time they were behind at halftime was Southern Utah, and then they put the pedal to the metal. And that was when they were playing without their starting quarterback. Victor Gabalis comes back out onto the field in the 7-7 game. 95 yards of offense for the Texans, 66 for EKU. And the Texans will begin at their own 19-yard line.
EKU brings on Gabe Fletcher as a defensive end.
Tight end and in motion Hearn sets up as a wing right. Gabalis throws on the edge, and it'll be a first down as they go to Jackson for the second time. The Houston transfer played there in 2022, 4 games. Played 2 games at Oklahoma before that. 4 years, 3 schools. This is his 29th game.
Most everything is a timing pattern for the Texans.
And they're in the hurry up here. That is Page, the redshirt freshman. Up to the 37-yard line and a pickup of 5 on first down for the guy averaging 109.5 yards a game, which is number 6 in the country.
Big hole on that left side of the offensive line. Aiden Mope is back in at left tackle for Tarleton State after leaving a couple of plays on their last drive. They did a great job of blocking that time on the left side.
On the slant, going down to get it for the first down. They needed to get it to the 42. Let's see if he hauled it in, and he did. That was Peyton Kramer from Aledo, Texas. That's the same hometown, you're a baseball guy, as Cody Bradford. Same hometown, World Series champion in 2023 for the Rangers. First and 10, Page. Page will go to the midfield stripe, just a little shy of it. On another first down pickup between that 4 and 5 yards, and that makes the playbook open up for the Texans, giving 4 there.
Jalen Hand, a nice tackle there. He's also a backup defensive lineman coming in, along with Katavian Franks, able to finish him off there.
His dad, James, was an offensive guard in the early 90s, played 48 games. He's in the EKU Athletics Hall of Fame. His dad is Jalen Hand, a Western transfer. Gabalis looking and surveying and finding a receiver camping in front of the EKU sidelines and hauling it in. And that is Marquise Willis, the redshirt junior out of Coahoma Community College. He's played in junior college, wide receiver, running back, and quarterback. And Willis will move the chains, and they're in tempo now in a 7-7 game. Gabalis looking right, throwing, and a catch at the 25. Gambling effort came up short for Ingram, and they'll move it down to the 22-yard line. Tackle made by one of his teammates back there, Derek Taylor, in the secondary.
21 yards that time to Jackson. Got around Derek Taylor. Nice slant route run by Cody Jackson.
In tempo down the sidelines, hand fighting and batted away by Galva. DJ Galva tested, and he comes up with the victory in that one-on-one there. They threw it to Willis again.
They were going to Willis, and that ball just a tad bit underthrown. As you see, DJ Galva able to make a great play to get that pass breakup, trying to get him out along the edge there on the sidelines.
Gabalis had been 4 for 4 for 50 yards in this drive before that incomplete pass. Second and 10, Gabalis back to the air. That one deflected by big hands on the line. I think it may have been the guy named Jalen Hand. Let's wait and see. No, I think instead it was Gabe Fletcher. There he is. Big hands, Gabe Fletcher.
And he's had a couple of those this year for Eastern Kentucky. He is coming on, redshirt senior, been around the program now for a long, long time. He'll check out now as they bring on Brad Gurley along with Gabe Stevens. He's been good so far this year in Gabe Fletcher.
3rd and 10 from the 22 after 4 completions in a row for Gabalis. 2 incompletions, 3rd and 10 here in a tie game. Gabalis. Pocket collapses. Ball stripped away, or was it? Gabe Stevens got the first hand on it. Then Frank Lee closed as well. And it'll be a quarterback sack and a loss of 3, and they'll put him into field goal range.
Gabalis is a guy that doesn't dance out of the pocket much. So Eastern Kentucky is trying to come from the edge, collapse along the outside, and that is where they're able to get the most penetration and the most pressure. That forces Gabalis up in the zone, and then he's running out of real estate.
42-yard field goal attempt for Corbin Poston. He's hit from 49 for the lead. And the Texans back on top in the Bluegrass State. 10-7, 9:57 in the first half.
.42-yard field goal by Corbin Poston, his third of the year. 10 play, 56 yards, 3:18 off the clock. 10-7 Tarleton State. EKU is going to get the ball back after this return.
Well, Poston had hit from 50 against Tennessee Chattanooga and 49 and went 2 for 2 against EKU last year, but he had missed from 42, 46, and 47. So Poston posts a 3-point lead for the Texans. Short kick and room to run here. But no room because the Texans are tough on special teams coverage there. Trying to find an avenue, and just nothing would come open there.
They are kicking away from T.J. Mitchell. They want no part of T.J. Mitchell. A great special teams tackle there by Tarleton State. As EKU takes the field now, it was a much different Miles Burkett leading the offensive charge. He was 3 for 4 in that last drive for EKU that resulted in the touchdown. Threw for 37, went to 3 different targets. So I like the progression made by Burkett on that last drive. We'll see if he can replicate that here.
Kobe Dickens made sure there wasn't much of a return for Stanley there. Colonels lost their top kick returner to injury in Jalen Montgomery, and they've kicked us set away. Here's a quarterback draw, and there's good running room for a first down before stepping out on the Texans sideline before the big student body here on homecoming, and they'll move the chains to the 36-yard line. EKU much sharper in offense today than they were in the loss at North Alabama last week, 35-14.
Great read by the veteran quarterback here. It was a design QB draw, and when EKU is successful, Burkett is a running quarterback.
Out of Milwaukee, started his career at Wisconsin, then on to UAlbany for a year up east. Hensley in at running back. Really good blocking by the line on that RPO. Hensley a little shake and bake, and maybe a half yard at best. They have bottled up Hensley here, and it'll be 2nd and long. That time, as this really stout and deep defensive line continues to roam, Tremaine Chisholm, the nose tackle out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. They play football down there, made the tackle.
Yeah, he was growing up, he was a big Reggie White admirer. And you can see that's why he wears number 92. So he reminds me a lot of Reggie White.
And his brother played at Alabama. And more on that in a second. Hensley up the middle, lower in the shoulder. He'll get a tough 2 yards, maybe not even that, maybe 1. Let's go back a little bit to Tremaine Chisholm. His brother Jahi, running back at Alabama. He was at the Pick 6 Iron Bowl game.
Oh, wow.
As a kid.
What a game to be in attendance.
3rd down and 8. So after a successful drive on the 3rd attempt, the first 2 were 3 and out, and this one on the doorstep of that if they don't make 8 yards here. Try to pair of running plays this time. Burkett 3 for 4 in that drive that got the game tied momentarily at 7. Cowey's in motion. Protection for a moment. Burkett will dump it as a safety valve to Hensley. He'll make one man miss. Get up to about the 40, and it'll be punting time for the 3rd time today for Jacob Baker, the punter.
Tarleton State had that covered. It was going to option number 3 for Miles Burkett that time, and it was a good move by Hensley to avoid that and go misdirection, cut up toward the middle of the field, but he was unable to break through of another tackle, and it brings on a punt for Baker.
Baker, Ray Guy, All-American high school at Corbin. No pressure on him. He'll put right foot into it. It's going to take a big EKU bounce and has to be fielded, and it is dangerously by the return man who had no chance in Blake Smith. You could argue that he should have let that with the momentum bounced, and it may have gone on into the end zone. Timeout on the field. Texans lead by 3 with the football midway through the 2nd quarter in Richmond.
Seconds left, and it's on the kicker again. The hold is good, but also it's timing. No!
Burn. Oh, howdy, neighbor. More than the game is on the line. Don't be Vern. 811 before you dig.
Richmond, are you ready? On Saturday, October 25th, country star Easton Corbin takes the stage at Chenault Vineyards. It's a night you'll never forget with live music, award-winning Chenault wines, plus food and drinks all evening long. Gather your friends, grab your tickets, and get ready for a country music experience like no other. Tickets on sale now at thevineky.com. Use promo code EKU2025 for 25% off. Tickets also available at the door.
Yeah, you can take it.
Tarleton State trying for their first ever win against EKU. When you look at these games over the course of when both of these teams joined the United Athletic Conference, EKU has won all 3. The last 2 have been a little bit more competitive, including the one last season in Stephenville. Joshua Carter had that huge game rushing for EKU. Colonels made a major comeback late to get that win.
3rd punt of the day, 50.7 average for Baker. Texans 10-7 and back to work with the football at their own 11. Around to the right. Broken tackle for Trey Page. And he'll get 9 of what he's needed. And when they're marking it up almost to the 21, let's see if they move the chains. It'll be just a little short, they say.
Nope.
Yep. No, they're going to give him
first down
all the way for 10. Good run by Page. He averages a hefty 7.7 a game, second best at FCS. Low snap, but they get it off the Page. Look at the change of direction before he's twisted down at the 26. He's speedy, isn't he? Got 5 more.
Oh, my goodness. He certainly is. And you can see why he's had games where he's been right around the 200-yard rushing mark here in 2025. Had 198 against Southern Utah. Get the ball. Nope, I'm going to change directions right here. Let's change it up here and go over the middle of the field.
Nice tackle by Braden Sullivan, third leading tackler on the team. They come around to the left. This tackle, good extra running room by Cody Jackson. And quickly in tempo, putting the pressure on the Eastern Kentucky defense. Tackle made by Jaheim Ward, the safety, all-conference preseason. Second team last year, but Texans don't give you time to breathe, do they, as Jackson leaves, and replacing him is Marquise Willis.
Just loads of athletes on this team, and what they try to do is get those athletes the ball out in open space to where they can make plays. We've already seen a different bunch of formations thrown by the Texans here today.
Already 4 catches by Jackson. 6 is his season high. On the slant, they go down to get it. And the guy that just came in for Jackson, Willis, made the catch. The junior college transfer. And another big chunk on first down. Make it second down and 1.
He was the lone receiver on that side, and another slant route right over to the middle of the field. Another one where the timing is superb by Gabalis and his receiver.
Originally committed to Mississippi, went to junior college, now at TSU. Through a gap, Page, a foot tackle by Smith, or he may have been gone. He only needed a yard. He got 3, and they moved the change, and they have rapidly with a 3-point lead. So we hit the 5-minute mark of the first half, have moved from their own 11 down to the EKU 44, make it 43-yard line.
You can see why they're 7th in the country in rushing per game at 234.
Stack a pair of receivers right. Gabalis, play action. Throws down the sidelines. Galva tested and over everybody's head. The intended receiver was Peyton Kramer. Nope, instead, make it 19, not 13. They threw long to Trayvon West.
And you have to respect both the run and the pass, because all this drive, it's been a lot of the run. Then all of a sudden, Gabalis does that and makes a deep ball for one of his intended receivers.
Gabalis now 2 for 3 for 27 yards in this drive for the ball game. So far, Gabalis 9 of 15 for 123. He throws for an average of 206. Back to pass. Gabalis, protection, throw, high, incomplete. Intended receiver tried to go up and get it in. Bryce Parker didn't, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Parker, one of those guys that transferred in from Utah Tech, the same school that Victor Gabalis was at. Saying that throw, just as you said, Greg, just a little bit high. One of the rare times Gabalis has been off target.
They have not tested Tisdale much. They've gone after the other corner. Rashad Hintz was injured earlier in the year. Galva has been at that position. So is Ingram. And it's 3rd down and 10. Page out of the backfield. They'll throw, set up the screen, and Bailey says, Bailey jumps on the back of the receiver. The catch made by Peyton Kramer. That was kind of count the numbers. How many maroon, how many white jerseys there at EKU won the mismatch there, and they'll force a punt here. The EKU defense stiffens. Here comes Charlie Mullen, the junior from Houston, Lamar High School. As we mentioned earlier, had his birthday on Wednesday. Trying to get a birthday present out of state today.
A lot of times on 3rd down and long, you see those screen patterns run, and you know that was a major focus and probably what EKU anticipated Tarleton State would run.
Eastern sends 4. Mitchell back. Good position punt. Now it'll backpedal and help EKU a bit before running out of steam at the 14-yard line. We are down to the 3:41 mark of the first half, and it's tight. The number 3 team in the country being tested. They'll go on D with Eastern Kentucky behind 10-7. 3 minutes, 41 seconds to go in the first half. EKU takes over, own 14 after stiffening just past midfield. Trying to test the middle for a yard. And it was Latham again who has the touchdown run from 1 yard out. Again, the EKU's scoring drive was when Burkett went to the air, went 3 for 4. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And right now, Eastern Kentucky trying to find something up the middle, but they're unable to get those blocks the way they need them to against a very strong defensive line in Tarleton State.
Their field position has been own 25, own 9, own 41, own 23, and own 14 now. They're at the 15. Again, Latham running laterally, and that doesn't get you anything. Lost a half yard. The only time EKU's had a drive that's done anything, and it was a 10-play, 59-yard drive, was when, I don't know if it's right to call it an onside kick, but it was kind of a short kick on the ground, hoping EKU would be napping. It was well covered by the EKU special teams player Cam Jesse, and that's when they drove for the score.
Well, that time EKU tried to go out east-west along the edge, but that play took a long while to develop, and you got athletes on the field for Tarleton State. They were able to gobble that up.
EKU 1 for 4 on third down conversions. They're sending the house. Burkett the throw. It's picked off. Picked off at the 25-yard line. Tended for Cowwise, and reading the eyes of the quarterback and snatching it is Cy Kearns, a team-leading 5th interception. And the team that is number 1 in the country in turnover margin makes it 21 turnovers on the plus side. But there is a yellow down.
The result of the play is an interception. After the play was over, the ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 97. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down, Tarleton State.
So, rather than the 20-yard line, Tarleton State with the unnecessary roughness on James Turrentine will start at their own 35.
Cassius Kearns able to step in front here of that pass and kind of thrown on the wrong side, too, a little bit. There was a lot of coverage there. If anything, that ball, if you're going to Cowwise right there, needs to be a little bit behind him to where Cowwise has an opportunity. Burkett was trying to lead him, but Kearns had the better position. That's why he's able to get the interception.
And it was the 23 rather than the 20, so the 15-yard penalty on Turrentine moves the football back to the 38. But a chance here after Eastern Kentucky's gone 3 and out on 4 of their 5 drives. They take it on the plus side for the second time at the 38. And they'll go to the other Page in James Page, 5'10" sophomore from Noonan, Georgia. Same high school as one of their defensive linemen, Brandon Pulvert, and he doesn't get anything. Well, 2 games in a row, no interceptions by the EKU quarterback Burkett as we hit the 2-minute timeout, but then he had one late in the game last week and back to a turnover. 2-minute timeout, 10-7 Tarleton with good field position.
The Texans have made a living off of turnovers here in 2025. Coming into this game, plus 20 in turnover margin. That is number one between all Division I schools, including the FBS programs, one in the country. They've been able to do that a great job here in 2025. They're just coming off an interception by Kearns.
Now make it 21. Here comes Trey Page, and he's in trouble, and he's bottled up for a TFL. Those orange sneakers were pitter-pattering, but he had nowhere to go, and Eastern Kentucky's defense forces him into a loss of 4. And the first hit, a guy that's been really busy today, in Braden Sullivan.
Yeah, Braden Sullivan, linebacker for EKU, coming up middle of your screen right here. He's the one that initially halted everything, and then Brad Gurley, among others, able to finish him off. But because of Sullivan's presence, Page had to shift his momentum going to the other side, and that's when his Colonel teammates were able to finish him off.
3rd down and 14 from the 42. 4th tackle of the day for Sullivan. Smith leads with 6. Pressure from the edges. Gabalis is in trouble. Going way back. And he is sacked way back by Gabe Stevens. 2nd of the day. Down goes Gabalis. Back at his own 43. This defense playing big-time football today against one of the most high-powered offenses in the country.
Speaking of athleticism, EKU calls a timeout right here, but there may not be a more athletic guy on this team, and Gabe Stevens coming over from his linebacker positioning, forcing Gabalis out of the pocket. That is not his game. So a great job of relentless pursuit by Gabe Stevens.
Stevens, who redshirted at North Carolina in 21, didn't make a tackle in 22. His dad, Calvin, played in the NFL, died of a heart attack at the age of 42. There you see Gabe Stevens. Rated the number 11 athlete in the United States in football in the class that he was in high school. So you see his athleticism there.
And Eastern Kentucky trying to save some time. They want to get the ball back and try to take a lead going into the locker room. That would be huge for them.
Tackle for a loss and then a sack. Colonels put pressure on, but don't get the ball in. And it's fair caught at the 22-yard line by Mitchell. And so the interception doesn't cause a problem for Eastern Kentucky. And you talk about 21 on the plus side in turnover margin. Tarleton had outscored their opponents on turnover 64-7, but they can't add to that total.
Yeah, that was a great job by Eastern Kentucky's defense to not let this game become a 2-score game. And then if you go into halftime and you're facing a 2-score deficit against this Tarleton State team, that's when it starts to get in between the ears a little bit.
They had only given up 10 sacks all year. They've given up 2, both by Stevens today. Top 20 in the country. Burkett will throw, and that one batted down as he is hammered down. As Burkett was facing the pressure, and it was coming up the middle from Yasir Holmes out of Indian Head, Maryland. You're going to see it here.
Yeah, Burkett lowered his arm angle. Watch it right here. He lowered his arm angle to try to slice it through, and it was James Turrentine who got the deflection, the breakup. I think it was just reactionary, or he would have been able to be in a good position to get an interception.
He played at Colorado State Pueblo Division II team, known as the Thunderwolves, for a couple of years, 2nd and 10. Now EKU goes ground. I think the way the defense has played, sending EKU 3 and out over and over. We'll see how Tarleton State plays it now with all timeouts left. Now will they call a timeout?
They will.
So EKU called the timeout, tried to get the ball back. They did on the punt, but now have they given Tarleton State a chance to make one last gasp in a 10-7 game. There you see Walt Wells, 6th year, trying to see his team extend their winning streak on this field that dates back to November 4th of 2023 to 11. 33-30, but look at his record at home.
My goodness.
Former Austin Peay player, been a coach at many schools, including Tennessee and Kentucky, his last 2 stops. Went across state after being an assistant to Roy Kidd to Western Kentucky for 10 years. OC there under Willie Taggart. Been all over the place.
EKU had some luck throwing the ball on their third offensive drive. See if they go to it here.
I think they'll go ground and try to make them force another timeout. I'm wrong. Wes is right. Burkett will take off, and maybe I am right as he'll run up to the 26-yard line. It's where his slide starts, and now the head coach, the veteran, in Todd Whitten in year 16, will take a timeout and try to get that ball back with 37 seconds to go.
Can we get like a half point? Because I think it was a design pass, but then Burkett had to keep it and run.
It's going to go into the record book as a run.
There you go. Yeah, okay.
I'm not giving that one to you.
Hey, I'm searching for something.
Well, you talk about Todd Whitten. Yeah, he's been there for 16 years, but it's 3 stints, Wes. He was there in 96, came back in 2000, coached for 5 years, and he returned to Tarleton State in 2016. 38th year as a coach, been an assistant at 6 schools over 16 years, 1 year as a high school head coach. Wyoming, Sam Houston State, Texas Tech, New Mexico State, Lamar. He's had a tour of the Lone Star State and beyond. 39 seconds first half. Texans about to get the ball back on the 4th punt of the day by Baker. High into the sky, a boomer. Fair catch over the shoulder. Boy, that's when you take a, you could argue right there, Wes, with 32 seconds to go, why even field the football?
Right. Yeah.
52-yard punt by Baker.
His second over 50 already today. And Tarleton State does not need a lot of time. This is, as we've said all game long, a very high-octane offense. So 32 seconds is like 2 minutes for most teams.
Baker now averaging 50.8 yards on his 4 punts. Fell about a half-yard short punting average last year, setting the school record. First non-Australian in like a decade and a half. It all started the Aussie invasion with Jordan Berry, who punted for Pittsburgh for a total of 7 years and 1 year in Minnesota. Now retired and living nearby in Lexington.
They add 1 more second, so it's 33.
33 seconds, 10-7 Texans late in the first half. And Gabalis with good protection underneath to the dangerous Page. He's dancing his way to the 29. And the Texans look like they're not going to call a timeout. They've got one left here. 19 seconds to go.
I think that big punt by Baker changed their mind.
Well, they're going to go long here if they can. 13 seconds to go. Gabalis going to try to air it out. Now he'll take off and run, coming to the sidelines and going out at the 44 with 5 seconds to go. Well, Eastern Kentucky playing toe-to-toe with the number 3 team in the nation and hoping to move up with the number 1 and 2 teams playing each other today in North Dakota State and South Dakota State.
There are going to be a lot of eyeballs in that game.
Looks like they're going to try to throw it long here like a Hail Mary. They've got 2 wideouts each way, and then they hand it off to Page and let him try to find running room, and he'll get just shy of midfield, and we're at the end of the first half with the score, Tarleton State 10, Eastern Kentucky 7 on the Colonel's homecoming in Richmond. Welcome back to Richmond, Kentucky. Halftime of this United Athletic Conference game. And it is 10-7. Tarleton State ahead of Eastern Kentucky, the number 3 ranked team in the country, getting a challenge from an EKU team. It's had to punt 4 times, Wes Chandler. However, even though it's been on the plus side of the field for them to start twice, Tarleton State has been bottled up by an aggressive EKU defense, and they've had that one drive where they were successful.
Yeah, you have to give a ton of credit to this Eastern Kentucky defense. They've been in relentless pursuit all first half long. Saw a couple of big sacks on Victor Gabalis. They've been able to get pressure around the edge that has forced up the pressure in the pocket on Gabalis. He's had to overcome a couple of hurried throws. And this Eastern Kentucky defense has been sensational. And we said it in the open that they have not faced a team like this defensively all year long. This Tarleton State team is not. So they're getting a little bit of a challenge. We'll see what adjustments each team makes in the second half.
This was a low-scoring game down in Stephenville last year, and EKU won it at the end. They had never been ahead in a game all year long on the road before they took the lead with just over 2.5 minutes left. They turned over Gabalis in that game on 3 interceptions. He's only thrown 1 this year, but he had only been, as a team, they had only allowed 10 sacks. Gabe Stevens has 2 himself, and the EKU defense, after getting bruised last week, has stood up to the challenge. 30 minutes still to play of football as the team tries to stay undefeated, 1 of 8 in FCS football. But Tarleton State getting a challenge here. We'll give you all the numbers when we return on ESPN+. Every time Tarleton has come to Richmond, it's been homecoming. Eastern Kentucky trying to extend its streak to 4-0 against Tarleton State. 10-7, the Texans lead here in the Commonwealth. And let's take a look at the first half statistics brought to you by CG Bank. The Texans have more than doubled Eastern Kentucky, 206 to 93, and they have thrown a total of 18 passes and 7 for Eastern Kentucky. All that yardage for EKU on their only scoring drive. But the rushing, both teams have tried it about equal. 20 times for 75 for TSU. EKU, 19 rushes for 53. The one interception, but not a touchdown. And time of possession pretty equal as Eastern Kentucky has managed to hang with the number 3 team. Anything else jump out at you on those halftime statistics, Wes Chandler?
Well, this is a game, if you're an EKU fan, you remember going back in the Austin Peay game. A lot of the stat lines kind of repeating itself here in this game from that game a couple of weeks ago against Austin Peay, where there was a little bit of a big discrepancy in total yards, but the game it's still in a one-possession score, so it's still within reach. And this is where Eastern Kentucky has made some excellent second-half adjustments this season. See if that can continue here today.
And remember, this is a Tarleton State team that has been over 40 points, 6 games in a row, a school record, and they have been over 400 yards of offense 7 of the 8 times. Will it happen today? They lead by 3 and will get the ball when the second half resumes. Back after this to Richmond, Kentucky on ESPN+.
A contrasting style, what Tarleton State has seen this season, a low-scoring game. Here at halftime, it's 10-7, the Texans with a 3-point lead over the Colonels of Eastern Kentucky. Not a ton of highlights in this first half to divulge here to you, but let's take a look at those scoring plays as they happened in the first half. Tarleton State got on the board with a 1-yard touchdown run by their backup quarterback in. They sent in Daniel Greek, the Mississippi State transfer, going with a different formation. They were able to catch the Colonels off guard a little bit and score the game's first touchdown. The Colonels relentless, though. They would score to start the second quarter. A 1-yard touchdown run by Braden Latham, and then this field goal by Corbin Poston, 42 yards out, has Tarleton a 3-point lead. 10-7, the Texans on top of the Colonels. We will have the second half for you coming up when we return as you're watching college football on ESPN+. Level up for the best experience. All new ESPN app, all of ESPN, all in one place. Link your account today to watch, play, sync, and personalize.
7-0 TSU took the lead. Colonels tied it, answered by a field goal, but the EKU defense stingy, and it's 10-7 Tarleton State. Elsewhere on UAC turf, Central Arkansas on the road, ahead 17-6 in the fourth quarter in Carrollton. It's Austin Peay at home, 7-0 early on over North Alabama. Later tonight, the Battle of the Beehive State. Southern Utah goes south to St. George to take on Utah Tech. The only undefeated team so far in the United Athletic Conference is the team that's here in Richmond, and that is undefeated on the year, number 3, Tarleton State. They are 4-0. Abilene Christian, who they play next week, should be a big one down in the Lone Star State at 3-1. And there you see Central Arkansas trying to stay in the hunt. Eastern Kentucky at a 3-way tie for 6th. Utah Tech at the bottom. But as we have talked, Wes Chandler, and I think everybody around the nation is noticing, outside of the Missouri Valley Conference, Eastern Kentucky starting to knock on the door with the Big Sky to say, hey, we could be the second best conference in the nation in football championship subdivision.
Well, just in the standings, look at those standings. You see a lot of conferences that they may have 1 or 2 really good teams, and then it falls off after that. That's not the case in the UAC. Southern Utah might be the most dangerous 2-5 team in the country. The way they're playing, they played Tarleton State really close.
Yeah, they were ahead at halftime, 35-28. Got outscored in the second half, 24-7. And remember, last week they beat Abilene Christian. You saw North Alabama down there, the beat EKU. They went to double overtime in Normal, Illinois, and lost in double overtime to Illinois State, who at that time was number 4 in the country. This is a tough conference, as Tarleton State is getting a dose of upset from Eastern Kentucky. EKU will kick off with Devin Orr. This is a short kick on a cold day and a running start at the 12. Trying to find a gap and getting it behind blockers all the way up to the 40-yard line on a nice return there from D'Angelo Rosemond, the senior from San Antonio.
Well, exactly what you said in live action was the key for Rosemond that time. He got a running start. He got a 8 to 10-yard running start that allowed him to get some yardage along the sideline.
And that'll be good field position at the 40-yard line in their own territory. They have started at the Kirtle 48, the Kirtle 38 after an interception. And now they start at the 40, their third best field position, trying to make it a 2-possession game as Victor Gabalis goes back to work. In the first half, he was 11 of 18, but he was sacked a pair of times. Play action, pauses, throws on the slant, and the ball dislodged and then picked up by the Kirtles, but the field judge right on top of it, and they say incomplete pass.
That one may get another look.
Was it a football move after the catch by Jackson? Tisdale had the hit.
That's extremely close. It was Derek Taylor causing that, for now, incomplete pass. We'll see if that gets tossed up.
You would think it would go up to the replay booth, but nothing is going to be stopped. Looks like we're going to play on. Gabalis, same play on the slant, this time caught and held on to. On the slant, over the middle to Peyton Kramer.
That is their go-to pattern, and they have run it a ton in that first half. They're going to run it a ton here in the second half. It's almost, you know what we're going to do. Now you got to stop us.
So into the plus side of the field, they've been there a lot today, but Eastern Kentucky able to shut the door a couple of times defensively. Gabalis, same play, wait, throw, out pattern to the sidelines, and hauled in by Peyton Kramer. Started his career at Oklahoma State, redshirted in 21, played a game in 22, then went back to the Lone Star State.
I think Tarleton State likes that matchup with Kramer and DJ Galva on the far side from us. It's a one-on-one matchup there along the far boundary.
Jackson and Kramer both with 4 catches. Jackson for 64 yards. Kramer for 27. Ground, Page, hole, he's gone. They'll try to chase him to the boundary, and Page will stay in bounds. Or did he step out right at the 2? Boy, he hit the pylon, but the foot went out, said the judge on the far sidelines at the 2. What a run, and Derek Taylor forced him out. Their goal to go, and what a start here in the first minute and a half for the Texans.
Great start for Tarleton State. 41 yards that time by Page. He was able to bust it around the edge, and give a ton of credit for Derek Taylor for never giving up on the play.
Now they're going to move it back to the 5. What about the block out on the edge by the guard Braden Smith, the 6'4 redshirt freshman? This is an O-line that has 155 games collectively among their starters. They've started the same 5, all 8 games, now 9, and he's the youngest, Smith. Goal to go at the 5.
Yeah, redshirt freshman.
Low snap, Gabalis collects, hands it off to Page, turn the corner, but he's hammered down, and here comes a flag, and it may be going back. Tackled by DJ Galva, but a flag to check. EKU not
Offense.
penalized
Number
in the
9.
first half.
The 10-yard penalty, first down.
So the hold will bring it back.
They were trying to go along the left side once again on that offensive line with Moe and Hunter Smith, the veteran blockers that time, and it was rightfully called a hold, and EKU was still able to stop that run as it had a lot of time to develop.
It was goal to go at the 5. Now it's first and goal from the 15 for Gabalis. Page to his right. Gabalis throws, caught right in front of Tisdale. They yanked the Colonels right to the goal line, but he's down at the 1 on the catch by Jackson, his 5th of the day. Jackson's gone one-on-one against Tisdale and won the battle a couple of times. It's been a good day for Cody Jackson out of Richmond, Texas, playing in Richmond, Kentucky today.
That was the second read for Gabalis. Both receivers on that side were doing a slant, but he was able to look off his first target and connect to his second.
Second and goal. Hand off to the running back, James Page. Touchdown. Page, his 7th of the year. He had 4 when they had to beat Utah Tech without their starting quarterback. And just what the doctor ordered for the Texans as they were challenged in the first half, and Todd Witten's team comes out and puts points on the board.
Oh, you said it perfectly, Greg, able to get those points on the board. And I imagine there was a little bit of some eyebrows raised at halftime for this Tarleton State team, that they were knocked off a little bit as far as their offensive success.
Looking for their biggest lead of the day, and Larson puts point 17 on the board. 17-7. The Texans of Tarleton State trying to snap what would be Eastern Kentucky's first loss in the last 11 games here at Roy Kidd Stadium, named after the Hall of Fame coach that won 315 games, top 10 all-time in NCAA football. Passed away at the age of 92 a year ago. Stadium named after him in the early 90s. Used to be known as Hanger Field. Last time EKU beat a top 10 team at home was Jacksonville State in 2010. The last time they beat a top 10 team anywhere was last year in Stephenville, when they defeated Tarleton in that close game. That went right down to the end.
That was an instant classic last year in Texas. 6 plays, 60 yards, 2:44 off the clock on the touchdown.
17-13. Kickoff, Mitchell ranging left. It's going to go over his head. Bound on the L in the end zone, and it'll be a touchback.
TJ Mitchell just might as well plan on not getting a football his way.
Eastern Kentucky has had one scoring drive, 10 plays, 59 yards. And that came after a short kick, and they started at their own 41, their best field position. But they have punted the first 2 times, punted again, and then they had an interception thrown and a punt, and the Colonels have changed quarterbacks. They have been grooming Cam Montgomery week by week to give the freshman, who is from Spring, Texas, that played in Ohio his senior year out of Canton McKinley, played for the Bulldogs up at the Buckeye State his senior year. And Cam Montgomery with the keeper. They rip at him, and on first down, on his first collegiate carry, he'll get 2. A little bit more on Cam Montgomery. Good speed, 6'4". Here comes a flag at the end of the play. Texans clapping as though it may be against Eastern Kentucky. There you see the white hat in Mike Lenny. Umpire having a chat with him. Eastern Kentucky has not been penalized today. Will this be the first time?
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 50. It's half the distance to the goal. The down counts.
So personal
it's second
foul
down.
on Liam Coppinger, the center, the 6'3" redshirt senior from Everson, Washington. College of Idaho transfer. And Eastern Kentucky will be in second down and about 21 now.
Anthony Johns now in at left guard.
John started the season at center, and then they moved Coppinger there. Here's Montgomery rolling the pocket, tucking and running. Needed a block from a receiver and didn't get it, and he's hammered down at the 20.
And Montgomery can run. He may be able to run a little bit more to a higher level than Miles Burkett. So he is a guy that will get out in the pocket, and like they like to get him out in open space as well, to where he can motor on down the field. He's got great vision with that 6'4" frame of his, able to run it this time.
A.J. Owens, their leading tackler, makes one. Came in with 54 tackles at EKU in 3rd and long here. That personal foul by Coppinger hurt big. Montgomery sacked, held onto the football and got blasted. So not a good start for him. His center with a personal foul that added to it. And one you want to forget and go back if you're out there next time.
Well, Brandon Tolbert just leveled Cam Montgomery right here. Getting through the line, not much the offense, or not much Cam Montgomery could do. He didn't have time to blink.
Tolbert, the senior, goes by Bino. His dad, Mino, is a rapper. So Baker for his 5th punt of the day and the second time out of the end zone. The second half in the first 5 minutes plus has been all Tarleton, and a short punt here. A wobbler that will go sideways and take a big bounce back about 4 yards for Tarleton, and they've got yet again great field position. This one getting away from EKU and starting to tilt towards Tarleton. Can they add to a 10-point lead? We'll find out when we come back to Richmond.
From orchard exploring to cider sipping and pumpkin picking to jack-o'-lantern carving. Corn maze wandering to farm view gazing, sunflower strolling, and hay wagon riding. From wine tasting and market shopping to golden hour photo taking and family funning to, well, you get the idea. Experience everything fall has to offer at a Kentucky Proud farm near you.
Sports fans, we cheer on our favorite teams at fields, gyms, arenas, and stadiums. But have you ever wondered what it's like to be a referee? Verbal abuse from fans, parents, and coaches is the #1 reason why many referees are walking away. And they're not being replaced quickly enough by new ones. So put yourself in the official shoes, act with respect, and be officially human.
(17-7) Tarleton. They open the second half with a emphatic drive to take a 10-7 lead to double digits, and they get a sack on the freshman quarterback who had his first series. That was really impeded, though, Wes, by the personal foul. You just can't have that when you had no penalties in the first half. You're trying to upset a #3 team in the country, and you have that kind of foul, and it just kills you. And then Montgomery didn't have a chance on the Tolbert sack.
And on a series where you bring in a guy getting his first collegiate reps too, that adds a little bit more pressure to Cam Montgomery, just trying to overcome all those hurdles that has to be going through his brain on that series. Now, this Eastern Kentucky defense, this is a big-time series for them because you're starting to see that momentum slightly go to the Texans.
So James Page had the 1-yard touchdown run. Backup quarterback Greek had the first touchdown run back late in the first quarter. Latham answered with a tying touchdown run for EKU, but good field position again at the Colonel 44. Third time they've started. This is the other Page, Trey Page, and his second carry in a row has been a TFL. He was running the wrong way. He was going south rather than north. And down he goes at the 47-yard line.
I think initially Page thought he might be able to take Brad Gurley one-on-one, and then he had two Colonel teammates come in to behind him and flock to him. He's like, oh, no, I just got to go down.
Gurley made the tackle back at the 46. So they lose 10 yards on the play. EKU's had a pair of big TFLs and a pair of sacks.
And Gurley has been a tackle for loss machine here in 2025. That's now 8 for him on the year.
Top 50 in the country. Second of the bunch here for Gabalis. Freezes, throws, left side, high point catch. Tagaloa Nelson, the West Virginia transfer, the tackle, but they got the loss back, and we'll make it 3rd and 10 at the EKU 44 on the catch by Kramer. It's been the Kramer and Jackson show. It's really interesting the way Gabalis just kind of freezes there. It's the way they play it.
Yeah.
And you really have to play eyes on the quarterback, sound technique defensively, don't you, against this TSU team.
And now the trend in quarterback is to have those happy feet. Always have your feet moving. Gabalis is the anti of that. He is calm, cool, collected in the pocket.
1 for 6, though, on third down conversions. Pressure on. He rolls the pocket, throws, caught. Beat Tisdale again. Cody Jackson's had a day against the star defender, the cornerback Vito Tisdale. He's won the war between those two one-on-one.
He's been able to just get around him, as you said, coming from the bottom of your screen toward the middle of the field, and a great throw on target by Gabalis, throwing away from where he was going toward his momentum. And Jackson right there, he's so talented. Maybe just on pure talent, the top receiver in the conference.
6 tackles or 6 catches by Jackson to tie his season high against Army. He had 6 in the overtime win over the West Point guys. Double pumping Gabalis. Now he's going to try to scramble, and he's been sacked 3 times today. Again, they had only allowed 10 sacks as a team this year. And they had a couple of Colonels in there, and Gabe Fletcher first there, Braden Sullivan.
And Braden Sullivan has been big for EKU on defense. They know the importance of this drive. Braden Sullivan able to get through along the outside there and able to wrap up a couple of those Texans offensive lines swimming across.
Loss of 5, 2nd and 15. Texans trying to score back-to-back here to start the second half. Gabalis. Now he's going to take off, find a blocker, sheds a tackle, going to get the first down. He needed 15, he got 18. Give him 19 as they move it inside the 15 to the 14.
That is where experience pays off. He knew where the sticks were. He was able to see it as he was going toward the sticks. Now Gabalis will check out as you watch him flush from the pocket. Just go up, go to the sideline, glance over, we'll go where the sticks are, get that first down.
And Greek will come in. Remember, Greek came in, had the 1-yard rushing touchdown to put the first 7 on the board. Page tried to get to the corner. Colonel's hammer him out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. They're going to say he stepped out at the 7. And it'll be second down and short yardage. They need the 4. They're at the 7.
They'll bring in Page now as a back. That's James Page, the converted quarterback.
Page has had that touchdown to open the second half. It was 10-7 at halftime, but the Texans making sure they go home with a number 3 ranking, if not better. Page. And there's Gurley again. Brad Gurley, the redshirt junior from Bowling Green. Same high school as Vito Tisdale and an EKU basketball player, Turner Buttry. Fletcher there as well. Also in was Sullivan. I think Katavion Franks came in as well, and it'll be 3rd and 3.
Well, so far with Greek, it's been almost exclusively run. So EKU is able to pin their ears a little bit and focus in on run defense. Now Gabalis in, so you have to respect both.
Gabalis has Page to his right. Man in motion, Gabalis throws. They've got numbers. They've got 6. Got it out to the edge, and the touchdown. As it went to T.R. Young. They go to the air, and the kid from Philadelphia makes it a 23-7 game.
Well, Gabalis comes in now after Greek had a couple of rushing opportunities, slings that one sidearm, and what an athletic play there by T.R. Young, who is a big-time blocking receiver. This time he catches one.
57th touchdown pass in his time at Tarleton to tie for number 3 all-time for TSU in passing lore history, and touchdown number 76 in his career. And the Texans are marching on. They're up 24-7, 5:13 in the third here on ESPN+.
Eight plays, 44 yards, 5:08 off the clock. Homecoming right now for EKU, but it's being spoiled by the Texans of Tarleton State. A 7-yard touchdown pass from Victor Gabalis to T.R. Young. 76th career touchdown for Gabalis. He's now 3rd all-time in Tarleton State history, and that long winning streak at Roy Kidd Stadium for EKU now in some jeopardy.
The 4th longest in school history, nowhere close to 36 and 24. Here's one of those short kicks, a chance to run from the 25, coming east and west, and that won't get you anywhere. And down they go at about the 33, 34-yard line.
It was linebacker Frank Lee.
Frank Lee, one of the best athletic players, was all-state in basketball.
Yeah.
Comes out of Orangeburg, South Carolina. Wilkinson High School down there. Carson Newman played 3 years, injured 1 year. He's already got his physics degree, his master's in technology and management.
Actually started out playing college basketball.
Yep. Small college. And 1st and 10, Eastern Kentucky. They have punted 5 times, thrown an interception, had 1 scoring drive. But head down to 93 yards, allowed 320, and back-to-back scoring drives in the second half allowed for the second game in a row, like happened at UNA. Here is the keeper, and the ball stripped away, and I believe that UNA has come up with it. Second turnover of the day, as Cam Montgomery has been sacked back-to-back, and an inauspicious start for the freshman from Ohio.
Yeah, Cam Montgomery in back-to-back series now. Tried to fake that handoff, and it was stripped right in front of him. It was caused right there by one of the big-time players for this.
Yeah, it was
Tarleton State, Robert Rios.
Yeah, Robert Rios, 6'4", 315 senior from Killeen, Texas. Timeout, and it's all Texans tumbling away from EKU in their homecoming here at ESPN+.
In the UAC, we value sportsmanship on the field and in the stands.
We take pride in playing fair and being honest.
We honor the game by showing respect for our opponents,
the officials,
the fans,
and our team. Great sportsmanship is about taking ownership after a loss
and being humble after a win.
We want you to team up with us by staying positive on the sidelines.
Because great sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are
United Athletic Conference.
For the past 125 years, the gates have always been open at Tarleton State University. Open to discovery, to daring, to spirit and educational excellence. Behind those gates is where tradition meets innovation. Tarleton State Texans become inspired and empowered. And the legendary Tarleton State University gates will be open for the next 125 years and beyond.
At Eastern Kentucky University, we're changing the game with affordable tuition and programs that fit your goals. Pioneering the way in manufacturing engineering, reaching new heights in aviation, preparing next-generation healthcare leaders. Find your purpose. Become a game changer at Eastern Kentucky University.
Tarleton State forcing another turnover, this time another forced fumble. It was caused by Robert Rios and recovered by Jaden Aubert. Second fumble recovery of the year for him, and doing what they do best, forcing teams over and then capitalizing after that.
They are plus 22 on the year in turnover margin. We may have to go to the all-time record book at FCS to see if that stands. What a season they've had, and trying to put points on the board. They didn't score when they forced a turnover. It's Page, the redshirt freshman. So they'll just work the clock now. We're underneath 5 minutes. Third of the game left here in the third quarter. Page looks like he may have cramped up a little bit as he limps off. See him there.
And another drive started by Tarleton State. Yeah, Page is in some pain.
Oh, in pain, and so's the helmet.
They have to go to a replacement for that one. But another drive started by Tarleton State with great field position.
Yeah, they've started at their own 40, the Colonel 44, and now they started at the 30. Gabalis will throw left, and another receiver open. And that time as he circled back down to the 16-yard line. The catch hauled in. That time it was Willis. He's been the third favorite receiver for Gabalis, and they run great routes, and they are in such sync with Gabalis, how they cut back and lose the defender.
And that was all on Willis, too. He cut off his route, saw his quarterback was in a little bit of trouble, so he changed his route, and Gabalis was able to lay it on him.
They were down 7 at Southern Utah and outscored them 24-7, doing the same thing here, and that one batted away. It was Ingram on the defense.
They were going back to Willis.
Marquise Willis out of Atlanta. Old Miss commit, but never went there. His brother Malik, a quarterback, backup quarterback with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, played at Liberty.
Willis is married, has a child. Second down at 10 from the EKU 16. They've scored on their first 2 drives of the second half. They've sacked EKU on back-to-back drives and turned them over. This is the other Page. And he pounds his way down to the 8-yard line. And it will be third down and about 2.
After a couple of years of not playing, I think James Page is happy he made that transition to running back. It is a little bit of a different look for him. But when you have Victor Gabalis there at quarterback, you know your reps are probably not going to be as high. Give a ton of credit for Page. He's come over and made a great adjustment.
He's related to Calvin Johnson, the former Lion wide receiver who's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Not
Third
bad.
down and 2 from the Colonel 8. Trying to go 3 for 3 in the second half on drives. It'll be the quarterback keeper by Greek, and he's just shy of the first of the goal line, but he dives down, knows he gets the first down, almost about 2 steps away from his second touchdown of the day.
I think the turf monster got him. Watch as he goes around the edge here. He kind of stumbles. Along the edge, right here. The 7-yard line got him.
First and goal for the Texans. Talk about coming out of the locker room and looking lively. Number 3 team in the country has shown why it's highly ranked. Greek up the middle. Maroon Wall meets him. And it'll be second and goal. And the initial hit by Jalen Hand, the 318-pound nose guard. 2-star out of Frederick Douglass in Lexington.
He's had a good game on the defensive line.
His dad was an offensive guard at EKU, played from 92 to 95, 48 games. You don't see a lot of offensive linemen in a Hall of Fame, but he is in the EKU Hall of Fame. Of course, John Jackson, a great offensive lineman, played for the Steelers, San Diego, in the NFL. He's in the Hall of Fame. Here's Greek again. Greek trying to get to the end zone. The wall pushes, but he doesn't get there. It'll be third and goal. The running clock, we're under a minute and a half. Big lead of 24-7. Just trying to add to it here. Again, it's Hand. He had help from Taylor, a safety supporting, and it's third and goal at the 1.
EKU had an incredible goal line stand last week against North Alabama. They're trying for that here. Force Tarleton State into a 3-point try as opposed to going into the end zone for 6.
Got Robinson as the H-back or a fullback. Greek, and I think EKU came off sides. We'll make it third and about a foot.
Well, the one thing is it'd be a small penalty.
Get the ruler out to measure this penalty. Football was at the 1. There's your referee. They've done a good job today. Led by Mike
Offside. Defense. In the neutral zone with contact. Half the distance to the goal. It's third down.
When you get the ball there, you can sometimes gamble because you know the penalty is not going to be as severe. Try to get out and get something for a tackle for loss. But sometimes you have the other end of the spectrum, and that's what happens.
3 tight ends, one of them playing that H-back, and number 47 in Robinson. Hearn and Joyner on the ends of it. Let's see where Greek goes with it. 3 trying to make it 3 for 3 on touchdowns in the third quarter, and 3's coming up positive for the Texans. And they're the number 30 on the scoreboard, and they're the number 3 team in the country. They're doing a little bit of everything. Dominance in a big way here in the first 14 minutes plus of quarter number 3.
They've really kind of come out of this third quarter gate and imposed their will. It all has started with great field position that they've had almost every drive here in this quarter alone. And they've been able to kind of ground and pound and wear out this EKU defense.
They have had 3 one-yard touchdown runs today, along with a 7-yard pass. Gabalis has moved him downfield. Greek has gone to the end zone twice. And a tight one at halftime has turned all Tarleton State, as they are going to erase what is an 0-3 disadvantage to Eastern Kentucky and cement themselves, Wes, as a team that is headed for the playoffs and could be a team that could, depending on what happens with the committee, currently third and another ranking coming out, depending on how they look at South Dakota State, North Dakota State, could be a team that could play its way all the way into home games, all the way until a national championship if you can keep it going in Nashville. What a year for Frisco not to have it due to renovations down there.
Yeah.
Or They may have locked the gates at Stephenville. If they could get there, that's a long, tall ask. But these Texans are built for it under the leadership of a veteran coach in Victor Gabalos at quarterback.
Well, this game and I think next week's game against Abilene Christian are two that they've really circled. Obviously, this one because of their inability to beat Eastern Kentucky prior to that. And then they travel to Abilene Christian, who has been right there behind them all season long. Should Tarleton State slip up, they haven't yet. But now you look at it, and usually it's around that 8 FCS win mark that gets you consideration into the playoffs. They've already got that. This would give them 9, but they have higher expectations in getting just a playoff spot. They're trying for a 1-2 seed in that tournament.
Tarleton, with the turnover moments ago that led to the short field position from the 30-yard line, as the EKU's gone back and changed quarterbacks again, back to Miles Burkett. Burkett will rifle a slant pass, caught at the 34-yard line. And they went, and the catch made by House. House, who makes his first catch of the year, third of his career, had one in the first game and the last game last year, Mississippi State and Villanova, out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Played at the Dunham School and then St. James Academy the year before.
Speaking of converted quarterbacks, House, one of those from a couple of years ago.
Burkett, another converted quarterback, injured today, a wide receiver. Here is the quarterback draw by Burkett in running room. Burkett up across midfield of the 49-yard line before he is tackled by Blake Smith. And that'll be the end of the third quarter. Well, Eastern Kentucky tried their freshman quarterback, a couple of sacks and a fumble, back to Burkett. But now it's 31-7 in favor of Tarleton as we go to break. Second chance of the day for EKU to get a drive going. They had one in the first half. They've gone back after two series that led to a pair of sacks of the freshman quarterback and a fumble back to Burkett on the slant. That one could have been caught by either player, and it went behind them both. Intended for West, and it will be second down and 10. Let's talk about alums, because right now, the guy that went during the training part of World War II to Tarleton State, George Kennedy. Cool Hand Luke, Airport, Naked Gun, loved them all. Beating Lee Majors, his team. The $6 million man. He was Harvey Lee Yeary when he was here at EKU as a tight end. A couple of pretty well-known actors there.
That's right up your alley.
Here's Burkett on a crossing pattern, and they stay with Schlachter all the way. And Schlachter on second down and 10 gets 2. Just the ability for these receivers of Tarleton to make reads with Gabalis, and EKU's receivers unable against the secondary and the dropping linebackers to get space today.
Well, everything's been covered, so it's having to check down to your third, sometimes fourth target, and there's nowhere to throw for Miles Burkett and Cam Montgomery here today.
7 of 11 for 51 yards. Gabalis 207 on 18 of 27. Even though he's been sacked 3 times. 3rd and 8, 31-7 as we open the fourth. And here's Burkett with good running room. It'll be a first down and more. And a late shove. Waiting for a flag to fly, and no come. No flag comes. A little bit of a late shove there by Ty Rawls out of Wetumpka, Alabama.
Yeah, he sent Burkett flying a little bit over on his own sideline. Again, going with the pass, everything was covered. So Burkett had to step up. This time there was some space along that Eastern Kentucky sideline, and he was able to get enough to move those chains there. There's been a lot of first downs on a Burkett run.
It was a good non-call by the officials. He was still in bounds by a step, and so Rawls legally pushed him, not out of bounds. Burkett gets a good block from Gaines, throws, caught, 27-yard line, down to the 23, ball stripped. But I think they're going to say he's down. The umpire rushing in with the line judge.
Going to Caleb Schlachter.
Yeah, actually the headlines were bound to the tight end a whole lot more today, Wes. Schlachter only 4 catches on the year, but
yeah, this is his third right there. A great read by Antonio Gaines to pick up that block as well. And then Schlachter coming all the way across, and it was forced out, but Schlachter able to get right back on. It was Blake Smith forcing that fumble.
Yeah, with the lawnmower rip. And Burkett has it tipped away. That'll be a fumble recovery by the Texans as they ripped it away from Burkett. And the team that does it better than anybody. Sign them up, Pillsbury. Give them a contract. Another turnover, their third of the day. And by far, EKU's worst turnover day of the year. They had come in +6.
It was Bino. They call Brandon Tolbert coming away with that. And speaking of that strip sack, great job of relentless pursuit by Tarleton State. We have a timeout on the field. The Texans of Tarleton State 31-7 over EKU.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Let it rain, Randy! Woo! Yes! By being prepared for anything! Woo! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
In the UAC, we value sportsmanship on the field and in the stands.
We take pride in playing fair and being honest.
We honor the game by showing respect for our opponents,
The officials,
The fans, and our team.
great sportsmanship is about taking ownership after a loss.
And being humble after a win.
We want you to team up with us by staying positive on the sidelines.
Because great sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are
United Athletic Colonists.
EKU 3 series, and they've ended all with a sack. That one caused by Yashir Holmes and recovered by Tolbert. They're +3 in turnover margin. What's new? They are now +23 on the year. They came in 7 more than on the plus side of the margin. That's going to go up unless the Flyers have a big day today. 31-7, Tarleton State.
And they do it for an offense that doesn't need much help at all.
They're just going to pound it and run the clock now. As Gabalis has had a great day, still in there at quarterback. That time they run their third running back of the day. Actually, yeah, their third, as they've used James Page and Trey Page. That one to Braylon Bridges out of Houston. And the running back they thought was going to be their star running back got injured on the first play of the year.
Yeah.
So they are absolutely loaded at running back, at wide receiver, all P4 transfers. And here to the edge with a straight arm is Bridges. And he'll work his way for a first down up to the 30, 47, maybe 48-yard line, depending on the spot in front of Walt Wells at EKU sidelines.
And adding another layer to that, they're doing that today without Caleb Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis out for the third game in a row with an injury, a leg injury of some sort. And he's a 2,200-yard plus rusher, 5 years at 2 different schools, Pittsburgh State, now at the D1 level.
Yeah, second in rushing touchdowns behind Josh Dye of Southern Utah.
Duval, Washington's Victor Gabalis. He knows what's ahead in his final year of college football. Started his career at Washington State, 3 games over 2 years, and 1 year at Utah Tech. Left St. George for Stephenville in Texas. And he's moved up to number 3 all-time in passing touchdowns.
And he'll check out this time. He looks like a much different quarterback when these two teams played last year. It was his lowest completion percentage of the year, 41% against EKU last season. I think he's had this date circled. He's been much better today.
18 of 27, 207 yards. They can go to James Page at quarterback, but this time it'll be Greek handing off to James Page. And on second down, he'll get nothing, and it'll be 3rd and 8. So EKU has gone 3 sacks in a row allowed. First one led to a punt. The last 2 have been fumbles that have been recovered. R.J. Darty has come into the EKU lineup. Ramonte Darty, redshirt sophomore from Dublin, Georgia, is his 3rd game. Played against West Georgia and Marshall. And EKU jumps off sides, free down for Gabalis, but they'll blow the play dead.
He was wanting to air it out.
Eastern Kentucky did not commit a penalty in the first half. Second half has been different. That'll be their 3rd penalty. Tarleton 3 for 27.
And it's been those mistakes that will make a coach frustrated.
Defense, number 95. Contact with the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty.
So it was the aforementioned Darty with the offside. That'll make it 3rd down at about 2.
Couple of those
make it 3.
And an unsportsmanlike penalty. It's those that really frustrate you a little bit more than the average penalty.
Well, you've given up a sack in every drive in the second half. You've fumbled away 2 of them on sacks. And you've allowed 3 touchdowns in a row. Exact opposite of what happened 2 weeks ago here. It is Page, the running back quarterback, carrying, and he got nothing that time. Out of the Wildcat again, which he's done.
Yeah.
They've got all kinds of weapons. I mean, they can go to him. They can go to Greek as the backup quarterback who scored twice, and Gabalis he's the orchestra leader. He conducts the orchestra.
That was a great play by Jeremiah Bailey that time to wrap that one up. But, I mean, it's just an embarrassment of riches for Tarleton State. I know they didn't get it there on third down, but when you have that many weapons, there are hundreds of teams in FCS that would love to have the talent and the weapons that Todd Whitten has in this team.
Fourth punt for Mullen coming up in his first of the second half. I think Tarleton State didn't like something. They'll call a timeout, or was there a penalty?
Delay.
Doesn't hurt you at all. You were punting from the EKU 47. Back it up to your own 48. Well, you go back and look at their seniors, and we talked about it overall in their roster, but on my spotting chart, I had 26 players, and 15 of the 26 are seniors on offense. 9 seniors at the skill position are seniors. 6 on the 2 deep on offensive line. 8 players have had double-figure yards per catch this year. 9 players have had a receiving touchdown. And you flip it over on defense, and it's the same thing. Yeah. I mean, they're just so deep.
Maybe more so on defense.
Yeah, we talked to Byron Anderson, the play-by-play announcer, and we'll get back to that in a second about how they've been able to keep it rolling down in Stephenville. They're rolling in Richmond today. Miles Burkett goes back to work after they force a punt. And EKU's Cowwise, who did not have a catch, even though he led Eastern last year. He did not have one in the upset win over the N7 Tarleton in Stephenville. They've shut him down today. They've shut the EKU offense down here in the second half. Burkett now 7 of 12 for 63 yards. EKU has a scant 136 yards, second lowest of the year, 102 against Marshall. This EKU team averaging 18.7 points a game, and they have 7 on the board today. That'll put them into 3rd and long. It's the lowest scoring average of an EKU offense in 54 years. You got to go back to 1972.
Sack made that time by Broderick Stewart, 6'2", 305 sophomore, just kind of collapsing in.
4th sack of the day, and there's been a sack on every EKU possession here in the second half. 2 of them have resulted in strip sacks for turnovers. EKU 3 turnovers today, their season high against the best in causing them. Burkett airs out one long, and it's tipped away in a battle. And great defense there as they dropped downfield, and it was batted away by Les Odimara. Arlington, Texas, backup senior.
Burkett had to lob this one out because there was pressure coming, and he just kind of threw a jump ball, hoping Daquan Stanley could come up with it.
And he could not. So here will be another punt for Eastern Kentucky. Baker has been busy today, his second of the half, and his 6th of the day. Low-lining rifleman taking it to 31 in running room. And on his way. Inside the 35 and pushed out over at about the 32-yard line. Is there a flag down on the field? There is, back at the 35 by its lonesome.
Yeah, that happened extremely early in the play, too.
See the sidelines of the Texans. Going to be a happy flight home.
During the return, legal block in the back. Receiving team, number 30. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down, Tarleton State.
Called it on Markel Johnson, playing on special teams out of Edmond, Oklahoma. Timeout, 7:53 to go. TSU ahead of EKU 31-7. $7:53 to go in the game. Tarleton was up 10-7 at halftime. They've gone TD every time they've had the football, minus 1 punt. Meanwhile, Eastern Kentucky, a pair of punts and 2 strip sacks, turnovers. Tarleton will head to a big one next Saturday down in Texas on the road. We'll tell you about that in a second after this play. There's the remaining schedule as they go on the ground, just running out the clock, fire up the engines over at Lexington Bluegrass Airport, because it's going to be a happy charter flight ride home as Tommy Ziesmer, who played up in Lexington at UK, made the tackle.
Yeah, next week could be a battle for who claims that UAC regular season title, 1 versus 2. Tarleton State, there you see it once again, taking on Abilene Christian, 4-0. 3-1. We'll see how it plays out.
And then Austin Peay hoping to stay in the mix. They're ahead by 3 touchdowns. West Georgia's come from behind to win. We'll show you those scores in a second. Ground, Bridges Bridges, hard runner. You got to fight in the room to get time. As they move the chains up to the 35, there's like 5 guys that could be a star running back anywhere. That's how good they are and how deep they are. West Georgia at home comes from behind. 18-17 win over Central Arkansas. And Austin P. rolling over North Alabama down in Clarksville, 28-7. That one is not to the halftime. And the Beehive State battle between Southern Utah and Utah Tech coming later today. Out west last year in as they go to the Big Sky as the WAC ends and becomes the United Athletic Conference at all sports next year. It's a tough football conference, Wes. I mean, it's always been the Missouri Valley Conference, Big Sky. CAA has kind of dwindled as things have changed. And the United Athletic Conference making a statement. Yeah. And you should get 3 teams in the playoffs, you would think. You know, if you beat each other up, you've got to consider that.
You're right. You're 100% right. And I think it helps to have a team like Tarleton State that is right there in the top 5, that's been a top 5 team. They've been 3rd in the FCS polls for the 7 straight weeks.
That time sitting right on it and making the tackle was Cam Jr. for a tackle for a loss. That'll make it 3rd and 8. Cam Jr., one of the sons of E.J. Jr., All-American Alabama, College Football Hall of Fame in 2020. Played in the NFL for 14 years.
He's had a monster season. He's been able to just ball hawk, something we talked about Tarleton State's defenders, able to do that. Cam Jr. has done that superbly here in 2025.
He's the youngest of 8 kids in the Jr. family.
Had to fight to go to the dinner table.
Yep. His brother E.J. the 4th played at UC and Tennessee State. Greek to throw down the long sidelines, and a beautiful catch. Did he stay in bounds? Waiting for the officials to make the ruling. EKU appealing that he didn't, but they say he did at the 35-yard line. And that was a beautiful catch by Bryce Parker, another Utah Tech transfer.
What about the throw from Gabalis? He threw it.
No, it's by Greek.
Or Greek, sorry. That was a Gabalis-type throw. He threw it where only his guy could make that catch.
Greek transferred in from Mississippi State, where he redshirted in 22, didn't play in 21. Again, he went 282 yards, 3 touchdowns in the come-from-behind win over Southern Utah when they were down 7 at halftime. Now Greek with the carry. Greek's had a big day coming off the bench for 2 rushing touchdowns when they pulled Gabalis near the goal line. Gabalis' day may be over, 18 of 27, 207 yards. Page on the ground has had 74 yards. He's on the Jerry Rice Award watch list. 22 players that could be named the best freshman in FCS football. That's an award won in the past by Trey Lance, Cooper Kupp, Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders. So it's and of course Jerry Rice played at Mississippi Valley State. 2nd down and 6. 3.5 and underneath. Second half, all Tarleton. First half, entertaining. Bridges working his way right. Another tackle made by Sullivan. He's had a big day, so is Smith. Oh, instead, it was 39, Cam Jesse, not 33. Taylor with 9 tackles, Smith with 8, Sullivan with 7, Ward with 6, Jesse with 5. It's 3rd and 2.
Yeah, Cam Jesse seeing a little bit more time as a linebacker. He's been, as we said earlier, a special teams guru here on the season, but he's going back in a little bit to his linebacker roles.
His dad, Kaz, played at EKU in the early 90s. 3rd down and 2. Coming to the left side and going to lose yardage. That was a nice wrap-up by Galva, the cornerback who got in the backfield on the run out of Bartow, Florida. And it'll be 4th down.
Galva's had a lot of action. They were testing him a little bit earlier in the first half. He had a pass breakup. And that time he makes a nice open field tackle.
They were down 35-28 against Southern Utah and outscored him 24-7. They were up 3 here, and they have gone touchdown, touchdown, touchdown before they punted last time. and they forced EKU for three straight quarterback sacks, 2 of them strip sacks. We hit the 2-minute timeout, 31-7, Tarleton State over EKU. Richmond Partners for Progress between EKU. Talk about second half progress, all for Tarleton State. They've got a 4th down and 4 from the EKU 29, trying to wrap this one up. First time we've seen the pistol. Greek will roll right and throw it away. I think a cheerleader made a catch on the sidelines, and EKU will get it back. So for Eastern Kentucky, they've got to go back to work, and they're heading back on the road for a charter flight to Little Rock, and then up the road to take on Central Arkansas, then back home for Southern Utah and Abilene Christian, and then they'll wrap it up out in the Beehive State in St. George against Utah Tech. And right now, Eastern Kentucky will drop to 3-5 on the year, and this is a program that doesn't have many losing seasons, and that's still not a foregone conclusion yet. But you look at Eastern Kentucky, they have had winning seasons, 44 of the last 52, but only 10 of the last 16. Schedule's really tough now when you put them into 2 FBS games every game. Burkett throws it in traffic, caught, and good pile driving forward for an extra 3 or 4 yards to the 36. But you go back to the EKU win over Austin Peay when it was tight in the first half. And EKU, as you see this play again from Burkett.
I think it may have been tipped.
They had, it was tipped and then caught. Great job by the camera there out of the end zone. There's Burkett again, pressure on the edges. His arm hit, and he throws incomplete. But I want to go back to that. EKU had the good second half. Outscored Austin Peay, held them scoreless, I think 20-0, and won in an upset. Today, and it was Austin Peay that had the bad second half. Today, the roles have been reversed, and it has been 2 bad second halves for EKU in as many games, where the defense has allowed 3 touchdowns in a row in this half. They allowed 1 at the end of the first half and 2 to start the second half at UNA, and the offense has gotten very little done, 141 yards.
And I don't think this Tarleton State defense gets enough credit.
Find a receiver to the left on 3rd down and short, and all the way down to the 40-yard line as Eastern Kentucky was able to get Stanley into the action there. They've had Schlachter with 2 catches, Hensley with 2, Baca, Westhouse, Mitchell 1, and now Stanley makes a reception.
Perfectly thrown ball by Burkett there in front of 2 Tarleton State Texans.
Burkett rolls the pocket right and slings it along the sidelines, caught by Ron Van Jr. First time we've called his name today, and with 51 seconds to go and ticking, they'll get down on the plus side of the field of the 31-yard line.
Eastern Kentucky is trying for momentum for next week. Wanting to put together a sustained drive, and they're going to check on Daquan Stanley, who is coming up limping on that catch he made earlier. Try to gut it out, but he's down on the far sideline. He's had a couple of nagging injuries this entire season.
27.5 is the point margin so far for Tarleton State this year, and right now they lead by 24, so they're spot on. They have scored over 40 in 6 straight games, a school record. They won't do that, but they have really kind of just run the clock and run the string out here and know what's ahead for them. What a day for Gabalis, but we've said that throughout this year. 18 of 27, 207 yards, 1 touchdown. They don't make any turnovers. This is the 6th game without a turnover. Wes, they're built for a deep run in the football championship subdivision playoffs.
Yeah, they are, and it's going to be interesting to see how far they can go, because they felt like they've had a couple of really talented teams in the past, but this one I think surpasses it a little bit more than others that they've had in the past. So I think that this is the year they finally believe they have all 3 facets of the game, that they can come out and compete for a national title.
Got to be a happy homecoming of sorts. He was only here 1 year, but Adam Austin, their offensive coordinator in his 5th year, second as OC. He was the offensive coordinator last year that Mark Elder was the head coach in 2019, had a 7-5 record. But Elder was fired by the EKU administration. And back to Texas went the Arizona grad and Adam Austin. And then the ball sent off here to Latham.
They added some time to the clock, and EKU called that timeout to avoid that 10-second runoff. So they were able to get it to Latham that time, leaking out of the backfield. He was able to lower his shoulder and get a couple, and EKU just wants to try to get it into the end zone before the final 34 seconds.
Did it right at the end of the game against North Alabama to get it to 14 points. Here's Burkett, and they chase him from behind and bring him down with 26 seconds to go and ticking. So EKU on the road, so is Tarleton State next week. Big one against Abilene Christian next week. 2 teams in the top 25. Burkett rifles it over the middle, intercepted. 4 turnovers today. Burkett is picked. And all the way beyond the 50, trying to go pick 6. A nice cutback. And down to the 15-yard line. Cowwise hustling down to bring him down, and the game is over. And the Texans riding high as they head back to the Lone Star State with their 9th victory, one of 8 in FBS play, to stay undefeated in FCS play, 14 when you add in the FBS teams. They were impressive here in the second half. I mean, dominant.
Very fitting for how this game ends. It ends on a turnover. A team that is the best in the country in forcing turnovers. They get one to end the game. This one from Hagen Stevenson, the defensive back, the senior. That Tarleton State sideline was electric on that run back. This Tarleton State team, after EKU was within a field goal at halftime at 10-7, they came out and played their style of football, and they were able to win it big here and end that long winning streak of Eastern Kentucky's at home.
728 days since Eastern Kentucky lost here at home. They lose today in a big way. It was 10-7 at halftime, but Tarleton State opened with 3 straight touchdowns, forced 3 straight series by EKU that were quarterback sacks, including 2 that were strip sacks, and forced 4 turnovers. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Added up there now plus 24 in turnover margin. That is incredible.
And we said it earlier, you combine that with one of the best offenses in the country, it is a great tandem for the Tarleton State Texans, and they keep that undefeated streak alive. They're now 9-0.
For Director Dylan Travis and his crew, along with our spotter Trevor Hammond, and West Chandler. Greg Stottlemyre saying so long from Richmond, where the final score is Tarleton State, still undefeated, 31. Eastern Kentucky, now 2 under, 507. All games airing on the ESPN Network, streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.